Alright, how's it going, guys? Hope everyone's doing well this morning. This is Shrek Extra Large. This is Shrek Extra Large's glorious menu. So, this game, just to give you guys a little quick overview of the game. Basically, it's a 3D platforming game. And there's not, we'll get into the mechanics of it in just a second here, but basically, Fiona is kidnapped from Shrek's swamp in the middle of the night by this evil, wizard dude named Merlin. And basically, Merlin tells Shrek that if he wants to get Fiona back, he needs to go and do a bunch of, quests to go and help dispel this evil spell that this evil Ice Queen put on Merlin. So basically, Merlin wants Shrek to go and do a bunch of stuff for him so that he can get Fiona back. But anyway, it gets kind of complicated and doesn't really make a lot of sense anyway. But this is Shrek Extra Large. Time will start whenever I press continue without saving. So we'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. So immediately we mash start there to skip a cutscene, just because there's an intro cutscene. But basically, Shrek has done a lot of cardio work, and he's pretty nimble. He's a little more nimble than he is in Shrek 2, but this game isn't quite as glitchy, unfortunately. But anyway, so this game has wall kicks and stuff. It's kind of almost like a Super Mario 64 clone, but with Shrek. It's pretty awesome. We also do a lot of punching and kicking, and we can grab enemies, throw them, kick them across the screen and stuff. We can throw enemies pretty far and whatnot, but the most important mechanic of the entire game is the farting mechanic, which has its own dedicated fart button. And basically, we can use the farts to do all sorts of stuff, like stun enemies and also create explosions whenever we get fire. And the way we get fire is we eat chili peppers, so we can light our farts on fire, and that actually is pretty useful. So this category, by the way, the reason why we're not running any percent is because any percent, while it is way shorter than this, it has a really, really inconsistent glitch, but basically that glitch lets us just go right from that tutorial level to the last level of the game. But anyway, this is the first level of the game, Enchanted Forest, and the first quest we're going to do is actually involves a skip here, where we do a wall kick off of this route here, and it's a pretty precise wall kick, so it might take me a second here to get, there we go. Awesome. So basically, we skipped almost a huge portion of this level here by doing a wall kick off of that route. Basically, there's this gigantic invisible wall to the left there, and we have to go all the way around the level to get around it, but there's not that huge part right in that little section of wall, this ledge here. So basically, we can just skip all of that, and we just need to lure Hansel and Gretel over here to this little candy house here. Again, these are good deeds, totally good deeds, no ill intent at all whatsoever. Anyway, we need to grab that golden onion there, and that golden onion actually lets us explode doors if we fire fart next to them. So we're gonna go and explode this door, and that's the next quest we need to do. And this third quest we need to do is we need to grab Little Red Riding Hood's sack and go and gather up a bunch of candy that's thrown throughout the level. There's 4 pieces of candy to grab, and they're all just kind of, just spread about, so we need to run and grab them in this other section here. And there's some pretty cool platforming skips we can do with wall kicks and whatnot. So we're gonna be doing a couple here in a second. So that's the first piece of candy we grab. Here's the second one, and then we need to do a jump off of this tramp here. And then we're gonna do a wall kick to skip a little bit of platforming there. And then we're gonna run around these archers. These archers can do a ton of damage, so we want to make sure not to die whenever we run past them. But anyway, so we're almost done with this level. We grabbed that third piece of candy, and we needed to activate this bridge so we could get across here. And then there's the last piece of candy, and that's the end of that first level. So that's the Enchanted Forest level. We're finally done with that, and we're moving on to Mother Goose Land. This level has some pretty cool stuff. All of these levels have kind of interesting routing because you have to beat all 4 quests in each level. You're required to do that to move on to the next levels. So a lot of the routing kind of just goes into accomplishing whatever works, and a lot of the times we're going to try and complete parts of quests while we're doing other quests as well. So this first quest we have to do in Mother Goose Land is we need to gather up all of the egg mother's babies and put them into their nest. And we need to avoid Humpty Dumpty because he's gonna kick our butts if he can, like he did there. He just headbutted us, and then it just makes us drop the eggs. So if you notice there, if we hop while it says good job there, if good job like kind of locks us in place, so we try to hop whenever that text comes up so we keep our momentum. So this next quest here is we need to gather up all of Little Bo Peep's sheep by doing sort of the same thing, just like kick them into their pin. There's 5 of them here, and yeah, pretty decent luck. The spawns how they spawn around the map is random. Or at least in that little area of the map is random, so the spawn we got wasn't too bad. We also have to avoid that wolf because he'll throw those sheep out of the pen, but if we manage to gather them all up quick enough, then we don't really need to worry about that at all. So this next quest here, we need to wake up all of these guards because they're being all lazy on their job and stuff, so we woke them up. And now we need to go and finish this level with the last quest, which is to fart on the cow that jumped over the moon. And after we finish that quest, we skip a tutorial. It asks us if we want to watch a tutorial to learn how to do this special move, which is basically if you hold Y, you can charge up a punch, and it'll do a super punch. So yeah, but the game doesn't require us to actually watch that, so we don't. This next level here is Sweetsville Industrial Park. This level is like a big, like kind of candy-themed level. But anyway, this first quest we need to do is we need to gather up all of these little NPCs and throw them into these hatches. And this is another level where we're going to be doing a bunch of different stuff throughout the level to get quests done. So this next quest we're going to start up is we punch this machine in the middle of this tower here. And this machine has like a timer that counts down, so whenever any of these orange guys go into the tower, into that middle area, they'll actually fix it. But the thing is, if we punch 2 of them outside of the tower, the orange guys will get like preoccupied and start trying to like help those other guys. And basically they'll get distracted and the timer will just keep counting down, and we don't actually need to worry about like making sure that they don't fix it. So we finished that quest without actually having to sit in there and make sure they didn't fix it, so that's really nice. We also defeated that boss there. That boss, you have to ring him out 3 times, and if you get rung out at all yourself, then you just lose all of your points there, and you have to like redo the whole entire mission again. So this last mission here, we need to punch all of these steam tubes here, and sadly one of the orange guys fixed the first steam tube there, so we need to go back and punch that, and that's the end of this level. So there's a lot of stuff going on, so sorry, it's kind of hard to explain all of it and make a lot of sense, but anyway, so we beat that level. This is the 5th level of the game, which is Molasses Sewers, and this level is pretty neat. It's the longest level of the game and has a lot of cool strats, but we're gonna first do a wall kick off of that little section of wall there. That actually lets us grab a chili pepper there, which is really useful for firefighting on these 2 ice cream guards. Those guards are made of ice cream, so we need to throw them into like fire sources to melt them. And so we're actually in the what is essentially the Ice Queen's lair. The Ice Queen has a bunch of ice cream guards, and we need to melt them so that we can get to the Ice Queen. And yeah, so we'll get to the Ice Queen in a bit though. So first we need to grab this guy. We're gonna throw him into this tunnel here. And you saw me throwing like little guys in blue coats around the levels too. We also need to gather those guys up and put them into their little workplaces. Oh, I messed that up. So one cool thing that we're doing here is there's a trick called a fart boost jump where you can jump out of the explosion of your fart, and you can actually gain a good bit of height with that. So we use that a decent amount during the run because basically it just it just gives you a good amount of height, which is very, very useful. So so we finished melting all the ice cream guards, and now we're going to put these blue coat guys into their little workstations. There's 5 of them throughout the level, and we try to make sure to place some of them in their workstations as we're running throughout the level, so we don't need to put them back whenever we get back to their sections. But essentially, if they're standing in their workstations right away, then they'll nice, I totally missed that. Then they'll just activate it right away once we get into the area that they'll load into. So since none of the guys stayed in place, we have to kind of wait here while they're getting into place, but that's okay. Not a huge deal. It saves a good bit of time if you don't have to wait for them though. So anyway, so now we're getting through that. There's just one last guy left in this room. We're going to grab him here and place him into place. So this next quest here, we have a bunch of like valves we need to kick, but we're going to kick them out of order. There's like a sequential order we're supposed to kick them in, and what that does is if we kick the last one, we'll get teleported back to the start of the quest, and we can actually use the chili pepper we grab in front of the last valve there to fire fart up to the next valve, which saves like a second over doing it in the right order. It's kind of funny, but it's useful, and it's a little kind of funny warp. So anyway, so we're gonna do a little wall kicking off of these pipes here to reach this valve, and then we're gonna go down here and we're gonna fire fart up to the last valve, and then that will open up the gate that guards us from fighting the Ice Queen. So now we're up to the Ice Queen boss room. The Ice Queen's actually like a pretty annoying boss casually. If you can get her stunned the right way, then you won't have to worry too much about dying, but she can kill you pretty easily. She does a decent amount of damage with her gun. She like shoots little creatures out of her gun. And the annoying thing about that as well is it makes it very easy to fall off of this stage here. And this entire level has like ice physics and stuff, so it's very easy to get messed up and whatnot. But anyway, so that boss fight went actually pretty well, so that's good. We had another tutorial there that teaches us another special move, and that special move is actually pretty useful. Way more useful than the special punch that we got. Basically, what that does is that lets us do a ground pound ability. The thing that's cool about that ground pound ability is it actually gets us, like, gains us a little bit of height, and we don't have to stay committed to that ground pound. So what I did there, that little planking animation that Shrek does, is if I just tap X instead of holding X to finish the ground pound, you'll just gain a tiny bit of height, and it's pretty nice. It's like a third jump almost. Oh, nice, I messed that up. I need to wall kick off of this here. Skip going up that mountain, which is really nice. That saves a good amount of time. Alright, so we grabbed a clover for that leprechaun there, and he needs us to melt his cart so that he can get out of here, and then we're gonna do this next quest, which is the quest that we started at the beginning of this level, where we need to grab a golden pot of gold here for this giant elf dude at the beginning of the level. But anyway, oh man, I fell. Lame. Falling is bad. I tried to make it across, but I fell. Anyway. So this next quest, no, okay, don't fall again. This next quest here, we need to go around the level, and there's 5 gnomes, little evil gnomes that we need to go and beat up. And the thing that's annoying about these gnomes is they'll actually revive their friends if they, nice, I don't know if I missed one back here. They'll revive their friends if they can, so we need to make sure to knock them all out quick enough. So we got 3 knocked out there, we got a 5th one, or 4th one, and then here's the 5th one here. We just want to power punch him there, and that's the end of that level. Awesome. Alright, so we're done with 6 levels now out of, or sorry, 6? Yeah, 6 levels out of 10. And now we're moving on to the creepy crypt, which is appropriate, because, you know, it's October, man. It's good, it's creepy. spooky finger puppet ghost month, you know. Anyway, so this level is kind of dark, so hopefully it's not too dark for you guys to see, but basically this level starts out with a little section where we need to escort these skeletons back to their crypt. And it's kind of interesting, but basically these skeletons will kind of follow us in a specific order. The order's random, but usually it's fairly consistent. We just try to get the skeleton that'll follow us first to follow us, and then the second and third ones will trail that one. So once we get them to start following us, we just need to get them to walk up to this crypt here. But that's one of the few instances of kind of annoying RNG in this game, because you can lose like a solid like 10 to 30 seconds if the skeletons decide to be really dumb. Anyway, this next quest that we need to do here is we need to fart on all of these witches, like stun lock them and then knock them out, because they're evil witches, you know. Anyway, so there's 3 of them, and it's kind of a hard thing to do because these witches move fairly quickly, and to fart on them, you actually need to physically turn around to fart on them. So you have to do like a half circle spin and then fart on them right as you get up to them. So it's a little tough, but anyway, so we finish that quest, and then we get teleported to the basement area of this level. And the thing about that is we need to... Oh, nice. So what you guys just saw there was the speed boost glitch, which is a totally... Like, so that glitch there is the reason why any percent's possible, but basically it's a totally random occurrence of, like, whenever you're holding an NPC, you can sometimes get, like, a really crazy boost from jumping and, like, getting, like, Shrek's hitbox colliding with the NPC at the right time. And that lets us, like, that can let us do a bunch of stupid stuff, but basically, yeah, anyway, so that's not super important, but the reason why we restarted the level is it's faster for us to gather these spiders from the outside first and then just bring them down. But anyway, yeah, so that's fun. That glitch is crazy, and basically, so the thing that prevents you from getting to the very last level of the game right from the tutorial level, like, since there's that overworld map that we go from, like, level to level in, there's a big barrier that prevents us from going to the very last level of the game, and you can use that speed boost glitch to essentially barrier skip, and and then any percent is like only 3 minutes long or so. So it's kind of funny, but anyway, so we finished that spider escort quest, and now we need to go and scare a bunch of bats. They're going to knock down this special set of armor that lets us resist dragon fire, which is kind of important for a later segment here. I keep missing this wall kick skip there. There we go. Okay, cool. That took a second there, but that's a kind of annoying fancy skip to scare those bats a little sooner. And now we're done with creepy crypt. So that's a fun level. That level has a bunch of cool strats, but yeah, the speed boost glitch is fun. Thankfully, we didn't lose the bug. The bug can get, like, launched pretty far if we're unlucky, and that didn't happen, so that's good. Alright, so this next level here is the Crown Prince Castle. This is a pretty short level, but... Oh, nice, I missed the platform there. We want to lower that platform there for a quest that's coming up here, but we want to also gather up a bunch of these jesters. There's 3 jesters that are in the level, and we need to gather them all up in front of the throne here for the last quest of the level. Grab the second one here, and then grab the prince. And the prince is funny because basically when you normally carry the prince, you move super slowly, but if you just mash X like this, you can just grab him over and over again and still keep your running speed. And basically that lets you finish this first quest way quicker, which is you need to bring the Crown Prince up to his bedroom. And yeah, this is just an insanely quicker way to do it. Like, this literally saves like a minute over casually doing the regular strats. It's pretty great. Alright, so we got that quest done, and now we need to go and free a bunch of prisoners that have been wrongfully imprisoned. But the first thing we need to do that is we need to imprison the evil guard that's doing it. So we imprison him, and then we grab all of the prisoners and we kick them out the window. And kind of annoying because sometimes they'll stay in their little cells, so you have to kind of grab at them blind. Anyway, so now we got that quest done. We're going to go finish this level here by doing the last quest. Grab the last jester. We're gonna, oh nice. Just punch him over there, and then we fire fart on all of the jesters. There are 3 jesters. We just need to fire fart on the last 2 here, and then that's the end of that level. The reason we do that is we entertain the Crown Prince. That's the last mission. So that's why we gather them all up there. And the only way you can finish that quest is by fire farting on all of them. So that's why we kind of gathered them all up there. So we could like do the least amount of fire farting that we needed to. We just do 1 fire fart and we're good. So this next level here is the Blue Dragon's Castle. This is the reason why we grabbed the armor. The first quest we're doing here is we need to gather up all of these baby dragons and cool them off in the kiddie pool. So there's 3 dragons throughout this level, and we need to lure them with these knights. Oh, nice. Come on. No, dragon, no. Parkour dragon, no. Come on. Okay, good. If you go too close to that corner, he likes to jump over that light post, and it's really annoying. Because he'll just, like, jump off of the edge and just jump down the hill, and it wastes so much time. It's hilarious. Okay, anyway, so we're gathering the 3rd dragon here, and we also grabbed a chili pepper there. Because there's another quest we need to do in this level where we need to light 5 torches so that it'll spawn a key in the middle of this bridge here. But we kind of do that all throughout the level as we're doing a bunch of quests. So 2nd dragon there is chilling there. We threw the knight there so that we could hope that the 2nd dragon just got in there by himself, but he didn't, so we had to lure him in there. Thankfully he stayed put, but anyway. So we light the 2nd torch there, and then there's a 3rd torch we need to light up here. And then this next quest we're going to do is, or at least we're going to start, is we need to gather up all of these goldfish and save them by throwing them into the same kiddie pool as the dragons. So we're going to kick them over the edge there so that we can get to them later, but we're going to go and light the last 2 torches now. And there's a 4th one there. And then here's the 5th one. Awesome. Alright, and then there's a 3rd fish right here. We're gonna grab him and kick him. Oh, nice. I missed. I suck. This is kind of hard to do, like, super well. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we're over the edge there, and now we need to play basketball. We need to try and get all 3 of these fish in without having to go over to the pool, because going over to the pool is slow. Nice, we got all 3 in a row. Kobe! Okay, so now we're done gathering up all the fish and stuff, so we lit all the torches so we get the key so we can get into the castle. And then we need to go and fight the final boss of this level, which you guys, I bet you guys can't guess what the boss is of the Blue Dragon's Castle. I wonder who could be the boss of the Blue Dragon's Castle. Well, if you guessed the cow that jumped over the moon again, you would be right. Alright, so now we're to the final level of the game. Merlin's Dark Tower Fortress of Pure Evil, which is the actual name of the level. So this level here is kind of a neat level. It's probably I would say the hardest level in the game, but basically we need to gather up all of these little things of TNT and explode these doors so that we can get to Merlin. This level only has 1 quest, so if we mess up at all and die, then we have to restart the entire level. So it's kind of bad if you do that, but anyway, so we need to gather up these 2 TNT so we can go and explode this door here. And this level actually has another one of those golden onions that let us explode doors as well, so we're gonna grab that so we can explode this final door. And then we're gonna get up to Merlin here, and the Merlin boss fight's kind of neat. Basically, you are supposed to explode a TNT in the middle of this little section there so that we can break the orb. And then there's 5 hits to take down Merlin here, and on the 5th hit that is time, just so you guys know. So 3rd hit here, and then 4th hit here, and 5th hit, and time. So that is Shrek Extra Large. We defeat Merlin. And by the way, here's a fun line.
Oh, didn't see that coming.
And then the game ends. You defeat Merlin, and you save Fiona, and there's no voice lines from any main characters in the game. But you know, whatever. It's all good. Shrek. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is yeah, it's a fun game. It's actually like a pretty legit speed game. Surprisingly, like it's a lot of fun, and it's very, I don't know, I would say it's pretty skill based. It takes a good amount of practice to get used to all of the stuff, but it's not too hard. It's not like Super Mario 64 hard, in my opinion. There's just not that many crazy strats, but it's a cool game. It's pretty cheap. I'd recommend anyone looking for a dumb game to run to potentially think about this one. It's a fun one, so. So yeah, where's Lord Farquaad? He's in the intro screen in a still picture, and that's it. If you guys were wondering where, let's see. So Fiona's in the game. Fiona is actually in the game. She's at the very end, and she doesn't say anything. And Donkey is on the cover of the game. He's not in the game at all in any form whatsoever, but he's on the cover of the game. So, yeah, Shrek Extra Large, everyone.